Hi, and let us start, okay? Please put the phones off. If you're not using them for something urgent, put them off. And let's concentrate together for 3/4 of an hour. It's an introduction to CVSP in general, CVSP in particular. And let me tell you what is CVSP. If you're taking to one, this is the first course, I suppose, you are attending in CVSP. Do you have any idea what does it signify? You just registered because it's a required course. It's a required humanities course, 3 credits. You need to attend it. And you need to attend mostly, I think most of the students, at least 2 courses in CVSP, مظبوط. One from sequence 1, which is either CVSP 201 or CVSP 202, or else 205. But if you attend 205, then you can't attend neither 201 or 202, because 205 is a combination of both, okay? And then another course from the second sequence, which is sequence 2, 203, or 204. Now we have other courses which are numbered 207 and 208, okay? Any course 207 is sequence 1, any course 208 is sequence 2. So you need to choose from sequence 1, either 201, 202, or for that matter, combined course 205, or a 207, okay? From sequence 2, 203, 204, or 208, any course, any number 208. So you are attending this course as a general education requirement, 3 credits. But does it ring a bell? Yes, please.
Civilization sequence program, and we're going to take about ancient civilizations.
Ancient civilization. Great. So we're dealing with civilizations. مظبوط لأنه civilization studies program. So it's about civilization studies. معناتها we want to read about in all these courses throughout the 2 sequence about different civilizations, different cultures, okay? Please check Google Scholar إذا بدكم. What's the difference between civilization and culture? Okay, this is very important. And please try to discuss this issue in class. Try to start with this differentiation in class between civilization and culture, okay? معناتها these courses, such courses, under different rubrics, under different titles and names, are given, I suppose, in most of the universities in the world, okay? American, European, what have you, in India and in the Middle East, especially universities teaching in European or languages or in American, okay? So these are called great books courses. It's better to understand them. مظبوط. Great books are all the great books that have passed the test of time. يعني books. We start usually with Gilgamesh, which is something like 3,500 before our common era. Add to it 2,000 years, and it's something like 5,500 years, okay? One of the first books, yes, indeed. Book written, inscribed on tablets, okay? Circulated over centuries, till it reached down to us in an original language, okay, which is Babylonian, the text, and it was enciphered into modern languages, okay? So these are great books. Great books are the great books that made out the cultures. A book represents a certain culture, a certain civilization, okay? Because a hero in a book, he is the representative. I'm saying he now without trying to emphasize gender, but in old times, the hero was always a man, okay? This great man represents, identifies all the good things in his culture, okay? So this is a hero. Now, I'm just giving very straightforward, clear, and in a sense, compensed ideas, okay? So these courses used to be called Great Books. Let me read from my text, and please do stop me whenever you have questions. The course is yours. I'm here only just to help you. So texts that have a permanent significance for generations of readers. These are the great books. They are influenced they influence great minds and shaped cultural heritages throughout the centuries, okay? And throughout the different civilizations. لأنه it's like a wave. Civilization is like a wave. It moves. Okay, swiftly. It takes time. Thousands of years, 10,000s of years sometimes, okay? And now we feel, okay? And the prognosis is there that the cultural ways is moving towards Eurasia and China. The economy is going there, all the minds are going there, okay? معناتها now you need not only English, you need English and Chinese, English and Japanese, English and Russian, these languages in the future, not you directly now, okay? So cultures move, a wave. Books move with the cultures, ideas move with the culture. These books speak about our reality as human beings. We're going to see that the reality of Gilgamesh 5,500 years ago is our reality as human beings, okay? The emotions, the great ideas, the fear of death. So what is a classic now? Now we say these are great books, classics. There are certain texts that have passed the test of time. We've said this, influenced great minds. We've done it. They speak about our reality, and they have an element of connectedness, connection, nicht? With the understanding of ourselves. Books do something that our other cultural products don't do. Cultural products, many things, okay? Artifacts. If we go to the museum, we see different cultural products. In our life, we use cultural products. This is a cultural product, okay? Communicative as well. And through it, I can learn many things if I use it correctly, okay? So books are cultural products. Although we have now computers and what have you, smartphones and what have you, okay? Books are still very essential. Okay, we move a book to use it on Android or on these smartphones. So this is the importance of books as cultural products. Now, together we would become accomplished, active readers who appreciate ambiguity and complexity. And what we do in CVSP, all the courses of CVSP, by the way, from 201 through 208 and other numbered courses, is to read. Read and discuss. Read, discuss, and write short essays as much as we can. معناتها we do skills. CVSP is about skills. We're not going to teach philosophy. We're going to become acquainted, all of us together, with ideas, cultural ideas, okay, from different civilizations, from different cultures. This helps us communicate. This helps us know about other cultures, about other great ideas, as I said, that shaped and still shaped our reality today, okay? But what we do is a training how to read, how to write. Unfortunately, not in all sections we write a lot, but we should try to write short essays. 800 words, a little bit more, a little bit less, okay? More than once. So CVSP is about introduction to cultures, but at the same time, skills, reading and writing and discussing how to read a different culture, how to read about different peoples, about different religions, which are not ours, about other peoples and religions, their minds and the culture. Understand them, okay? And try to ask the correct questions about these religions and to see how they relate to us. So this is what we do in CVSP. By the way, the course, this CVSP 201 is divided into basically if I'm not mistaken, 2 sections, okay? The first section, and this starts, as I told you before, the earliest text that we have. This is from Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is a Greek word, I think it's a Greek word, referring to the land between the 2 rivers, يعني أرض ما بين النهرين. Okay, الرافدين, دجلة والفرات. So this is Mesopotamia. This is the land between the 2 rivers, and these are the main centers of culture. When I say the land between the 2 rivers, these cultures, one culture, one civilization taken over the other, and each one of them integrates, eats up the other one in itself, like cultures do, like the cultural wave I'm talking about. And this lasted for something like 3,000 years before Christ. Okay? So the first epic comes from there. This is the kunai form that I told you about. I told you this book was written, yes, inscribed. Written in the sense of scribe, inscription. This is the tool that they use to inscribe on clay and then keep it under the sun for a long time until it dries. In this dried condition, we have received all these tablets, clay tablets, okay? So what is an epic now? Now we said we are starting with an epic. Actually, we are going to read 2 epics. At least 2 epics. This is the first epic, the epic of Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh is the name of the hero, and the other epic, we'll come to it later. So what is an epic? Let's do it very quickly. An epic is a sublime, authoritative narrative which went through a long period of oral, mahki, oral tradition before it was written down in poetic narrative. It's a narrative, poetic narrative in poetry, okay, but it's a narrative, it tells a story of what? Let's see, the author of an epic is unknown. Most probably it is a cumulative work of many authors over a long period of time. يعني like your grandmother, my grandmother, our grandparents, okay, grandfathers and grandmothers, but grandmothers are the ones who keep the culture. They relate, tell us stories. It goes from one generation to the other generation by word of mouth, okay? Till at some point it is written down. Written down, when we sit to write it down, we would have at least 10, 12 versions, more than that. And you heard it in a certain manner, she heard it in another manner, okay, from the same grandmother, okay? And then when you heard it, you added to it some elements which were not there. She added other elements. After 200 years, I collect all these versions of the same narrative told by the same grandmother, and I found them 13, 14 versions. I need to compare between them, okay, and write them down. So it's oral and written tradition over the passage of time, from mouth to ear over generations. It is a narrative poem that narrates the deeds and adventures of a heroic or legendary figure and reflect a heroic ethos, a certain spirit about heroism. By the way, all these heroic ethos are narratives about beginnings. Many legendary things are there in the mythic. And please check the word mythic and try to discuss it in class as well, okay? Mythic and legendary. Even religions, items of religions, parts are legendary, are mythic, and we build on them. This has nothing to do with truth, okay? As we're going to see while trying to finish this course and other courses in CVSP. So the events and the heroic deeds must have been significant to the audience at that time, audiences, because the hero embodies the values, as I said, of a certain culture. Okay? Any question, guys? I've just talked about mythic and mythical have to do with reality, and this is from the dictionary. By the way, most of the quotations I'm using are from encyclopedias. basically the Encyclopedia of World Religions, okay, by Mircea Eliade. When it comes to philosophy, by the Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, both are online, okay? So, a traditional or legendary story usually concerning some being or hero or event with or without a determinable basis of fact or a natural explanation, especially one that is concerned with deities. Okay, divine and deities, different deities, or demigods, semi-gods, okay, minor gods if you want, small gods, and explains some practice, right, or phenomenon of nature, okay? So they have a certain function. This is myth. Now, the hero is usually godlike. He's a godlike person with many characteristics. Handsome in appearance and strength, heroes are subjected to the harshness of their fate and are shaped by the obstacles of their journeys. What is a journey, by the way? We are going to read about this. This word will come with us. We'll be confronted with this word more than once. Any idea, journey? Yes, please. Adventure, this is one. Very fine. Other things? Huh? Labor, adventure, labor, yes. Wandering meaning travel. So it's a passage. It's a passage in time. It's about wandering. It's about travel. It's about achieving things. So by the way, the word journey is used to anything we do in life. We say it's a life journey, a career. What is your career? Your life journey. Okay, some people want to sit down and write at some point their journeys in life, a life journey. Any achievement. You are doing a journey now, a small journey, one that fits in the bigger journey, entering university. And each journey is an initiation. Check the word, okay? I-N-I-T-A-I, okay, to initiate, check it. Every journey is an initiation rite. Right, not against wrong, but right as a process, as a procedure. And each initiation rite, by the way, has its rules that one needs to abide by. And when you finish this journey, this initiation process, you will end up with more mature. You enter a new stage, okay? And there's usually a certain gift at the end of a journey. So we have the longer journey of life, and this longer journey is composed of many smaller journeys. Each one is an initiation rite. Here to your left, we have Gilgamesh. At least this is the statue inscription of Gilgamesh, okay, that we have. And over there we have Odysseus. We're coming back to Odysseus. Gilgamesh is the hero of the epic of Gilgamesh from Mesopotamia. Often, heroes begin their journeys full of recklessness. Underline the word. You're going to encounter this word. Memorize the word. And I said we do skills in CVSP. Okay, part of the skills reading and writing and communication, but as well try to learn as many words as you can. Each one put it in its cultural context. This helps a lot, okay? Yani you should end up at least with 50 new words from CVSP 201, okay? Recklessness and selfishness. Yet at the end, they acquire wisdom, justice, and a story of their own. A voyage, a journey means a story. Each one of us undertakes a journey, then you write a story. By the way, even if I take a journey from here to the bakery to buy something, I'll encounter people, I'll say hello, and I might have an accident, so I might come back and write it down as well. Each journey, okay, is an experience. A hero excels in skill and courage. He faces difficulties and obstacles created to him by the gods. The gods are most of the time jealous of the hero. Although the hero is usually in these old epics 1/3 man 2/3 God, or vice versa, the other way around. يعني there is something in him which belongs to the divine. And the gods are jealous of him, okay? Jealous of him, and they want to train him as well, okay? So here he excels, he's not frightful. Now, polytheism, all these cultures that we're doing in CVSP 201, polytheistic. Does it ring a bell? Try to divide this word. Let's try to divide it together and see what does it mean. Poly, many. Theistic, theism, religion. This is originally the Greek word theo, the word for the divine, the word for God. Theism, so we build up. Poly معناتها it's many divine. Theo in the original is divine, not religion as such, okay? But from divine we have the religion, okay? So many divines. It's not like in Islam and Christianity, or Judaism, Christianity and Islam, that it's only one God that we worship, okay? And this God is omniscient, omnipresent, He's everywhere, He cares for us. We're not doing this here, we do it in 202. But in 201, and we are talking about cultures that believe in many deities, polytheism. What is this polytheism now? The belief in many gods. Again, I'm taking this from the word Encyclopedia of World Religions. The belief in many gods. A hierarchical pantheon, okay, of gods, each representing a cosmic phenomenon and a defined sphere of influence, with the higher god residing as a supreme figure. Belief in many demonic as well, and ghastly forces in addition to the gods, and some supernatural beings who are malicious. The gods interfere in human affairs, they intermarry with human beings. The balanced worshipper does not pick and choose between the gods. And I don't choose to pay my only to Ishtar, okay? I need to respect all the gods and give them due respect to all the gods. So no, none of them would be jealous. Not only none of them be jealous, لأنه each god, goddess, represent one part of the cosmos, of a cosmic phenomenon. So I need to have all the cosmic phenomena on my side, not to antagonize them. So I pay respect to all the gods in polytheism. So it's a way of composing, and we're coming to allegory, okay? So I finished polytheism. Sorry, I'm not reading. There is a lecture, but I prefer sometimes to do it this way. If you are not understanding, if I'm jumping over points, okay, please stop me. By the way, the lecture is only introductory to help you, give you a taste, okay? Not forget that you have the handouts in your hands. This is one thing. Another thing, we have updated now, and I was told to tell you this by our secretary, we have updated the CVSP website. Okay? A new look now. But the main thing, enter the website, enter courses, our lectures, by the way, readings and lecture, click 201. First, you'll find all the text there. You can download them, so you don't need to buy text, by the way, actually. Download them, put them on your smartphones and come to class, or come to class with a book, or come to class with photocopied or printed out, what have you. The main thing is to have the text in your hand, electronic or hard copy, when we are in class, to have already read the material so that we can discuss together. So check on the website, and please stop me again if you have any questions. Is it fine till now? No. These texts now are allegorical. معناتها an epic. Let's repeat. An epic قلنا it is a hello. Hey. It's myth, indeed. Many myths are in the epic. It is a classic, one of the classical books that we read. It's a narrative poem, don't forget this. It's a narrative poem. And tells about what? A hero who represents a certain culture sphere, a certain civilization. مظبوط? So that is a hero. We're reading a text, poetic text, narrative form, very ancient, okay, classic, right? One of the great books يعني مظبوط representing culture. معناتها it represents a culture in all the aspects of the culture. Religious, poetic, literary. When I say literary معناتها we're talking about allegory. Okay, and this from the New Princeton Encyclopedia of Poetry and Poetics. Allegory means manifold layers of meaning. معناتها the text is not a simple text. What we read has different layers of meanings. Figurative has many topoi in it, is using different methods to express itself. And when we say expressing itself, literature doesn't express itself as such. And it does not only express great minds, it expresses a culture, cultural themes. Okay? Especially if we don't have an author like an epic. Let's see what's an allegory. A way of composing literature. To compose allegorically, and I'm giving examples that we're not reading in CVSP, is to in CVSP 201, is to construct a work so that its apparent sense refers to an other sense. يعني I'm reading something, but I should know from the start what I'm reading doesn't refer directly, doesn't signify directly a signifier, one signifier. The signifier is absent. Okay? I should look at the signifier. A way of interpreting literature. To interpret allegorically is to explain a work as if there were an other sense to what is referred. Okay? By the way, allegorical, look at any شو اسمهم هول الكارتونز. مظبوط؟ عندنا the characters, the mouse or the cat وتا تا تا تا. You can interpret allegorically as well. By the way, you are taken as a child, you are taken by how a small mouse, okay, can be so courageous and powerful and tricky and we laugh at the cat, okay? The more we mature and I still love to watch Tom and Jerry, all these things, okay? You'll see that it has different layers of meanings. معناتها allegory, it is written, it's prepared for children. Children are happy with it. My public and my audience are the children, but I have another audience and still another audience. And I can imbue the text, okay, with different layers of meaning. Allegorical, I'm just trying to simplify, as I said from the start. You are going to discuss these things in class. So allegory necessitates a personal and a cultural attitude towards language. Literature is language. The symbols that we inscribe with in language are letters. There are different languages in arts and in culture and in creative arts, and dancing is a language. But the language we are and could be allegorical. The language we are using here in literature is the written red text, okay? So it needs to be read more than one time. The tree of good and evil, this is allegorical as well. مظبوط that we read in the in our religious texts, whether the official testaments or apocrypha or explanative or what have you, okay? إنه Adam وEve, the serpent وapple, this is allegorical. This has nothing to do with I believe in it or not. My belief, my faith is the inner belief, okay? My faith is my faith in religion. But this story is allegorical. It's used in religion the same way it is used in literature, okay? So this is an example of allegorical reading. The second, by the way, you are going to attend a lecture to each and every text you are reading. And I'm only trying to introduce, general introduction, okay? To give you a taste of what we do in CVSP 201 specifically. Then we move from Mesopotamia to ancient Greece, okay? And here you have this is the Mediterranean, and this is this is Greece today. ancient Greece, أكيد, plus or minus, some islands disappeared, other geographic features have changed, but más o menos, this is the Aegean, okay, sphere, cultural sphere that we are going to encounter, to deal with. From this culture, I'm reading another epic. This is called the Epic of the Odyssey. Odyssey is the epic of Odysseus. Odysseus is the name of the hero. We are reading all these texts in English, by the way. Whether it is Babylonian, we're reading in English. Whether it's now Greek, old ancient Greek, we are reading in English, okay? So the Odyssey is the journey again, the life journey, the encounters, شو قلتوا لي مغامرات adventures مزبوط of the hero who is called Odysseus, who represents his own culture, which is now the Greek, ancient Greek culture. Again, it's a story. Again, it is polytheism. When I said polytheism, I was talking about these ancient cultures, by the way. We still have today polytheistic cultures and religions, which are fascinating. Hinduism, for that matter, it's a fascinating culture. It is polytheistic, okay? So polytheism, I was talking about first Gilgamesh, his culture, now the Odyssey and Odysseus, other texts that we take, that we read, that we might read as well if we're reading Virgil, if we're reading from the Roman culture or other cultures, okay? Afterwards, we get introduced in CVSP to monotheism, okay? But keep in mind that till today, we still have atheists in the world, millions and millions of atheists. We have Jews, Christians, and Muslims that believe in, we say, one God, monotheistic cultures, Abrahamic tradition, the progeny, the descendants of Abraham, and we have polytheism and different other religions. So now we want in CVSP that we read about these cultures. We're not reading about Hinduism, unfortunately. We're not reading about Buddhism, again, unfortunately, okay? Chinese, Japanese culture, although at some point we should, okay, be trained in reading these cultures and to get to know these. معناتها the Odyssey. Now, let me move when we come to the Odyssey. When we come to the Greek cultures, by the way, the same thing in Mesopotamia. The first human beings, ما بعرف who's the first. We're talking about 13 billion years of the Big Bang, okay? When did all these civilizations start? I don't know, okay? Science is still trying to find out. نحن we are only doing written cultures. يعني you go back, إلنا Gilgamesh 5,000, 6,000 years. Suppose, as we are told in sciences, that the oldest cities go back to 10,000 years, and the oldest cities were found here in this area. يعني Jericho and basically Damascus. And to define a city is a city which have thousands of people living together within a walled city. And they have their water, and they have a certain government. Administration, okay? This is what we call a city-state. And in these ancient cultures, Mesopotamia, if I go back to Mesopotamia, okay, these are city-states. Assur, Nineveh, Babylon, Uruk, Ur, Eridu, Sumer as a culture, as a civilization, okay? معناتها we are talking of city-states, different city-states. Same thing applies to Greece. Odysseus is the hero, a Greek hero that represents the Greek culture, but he belongs to a city-state. Now, this city-state developed over time. Like anything matures and develops, okay? We're not going to read about this. We're going to read about this in 201 as well. But let me start with Odysseus. So he represents a culture, a city-state, but a culture. He lives in a city-state. He's a king of a certain city-state. In the second phase of 201, we are going to read from Plato and Aristotle, okay? They are still Greek, But at least we have something like 1,000 years, by the way, 800 years, between our Odysseus that we're going to read about in an epic, and then when we come to the city-states, Sparta and Athens, in around 500. He is 800 BC around, if the figure is, it's mythic, مثل ما قلنا, okay? But the reality of the legend, the reality of myth, the reality of literature. So when we come to read about Plato and Aristotle, عندنا difference something around 800 years. Keep this in mind. معناتها in the course we are moving in time. We're starting in time and in space, يعني in place. We're starting in Mesopotamia, 5,500 minus, okay? And then we move to Greece, 800 minus, with Odysseus as a figure, as a hero. And then we move to the zenith of the city-state, which is Athens and Sparta, with philosophy, with theater, and what have you, okay? Questions? I'm jumping too much. Hello? You had lunch already? Sure. If you had lunch, معناته you're tired and sleepy. Yes, please.
What texts are we covering in this course? We're only covering Odysseus and the Epic of Gilgamesh?
لا, I'm coming to this. Gilgamesh, the Odyssey, these are the epics. And then we move to another genre. Thanks for the questions. And this is why I was trying to prepare. We're moving in time and we're moving in genres, okay? Then we come to the genre of historical narrative, by the way, and we are reading Thucydides is his name. He is one of the basic of the ancient historians, history writer. And he's telling us about the first war, civil war is between the two main city-states in Greece. So we move from the legendary, mythic, heroic epics to another genre, which is writing real history, as history, en parenthèse, actually happened. If anyone writes about history as it actually happens, okay? لأنه if you watch an accident now, each one will tell the accident about the accident in a different manner. But history became a scientific way of writing things. So we are going to encounter the first text, Greek text, Thucydides. Then we move to philosophical text, Plato and Aristotle. Plato is writing about a blueprint. You know what's blueprint? Imaginary first. يعني you sit as a group together, 5-6 people together, and you say, let us put a plan. First, imaginary plan, okay, of how to build an excellent laboratory for biology. Or anything you're interested in. How to build an excellent team, okay? Saucers, basketball, or what have you. معناتها you start thinking together and thinking according to lines which should be, by the way, approved and scientific and you should build a certain process. So you open up a discussion. You say something and your colleague tell you, "La, please, I didn't understand. Tell me how it is." And you tell them again, you try to explain how it is. And then she or he tells you, "Look, I'm still not understanding. There must be something wrong in your argument." So let us see how is the argument, okay? Plato sat with the students. Plato actually is writing about how his mentor, how his teacher, okay, Socrates, have trained his students, 5-6 students. They sat together how to build a just society. What is justice? The question is, what is justice? All our societies today, and all over the world are still asking them the same question. What is justice and how do we build a just society? Being equal, what is equal, كمان? Okay? But thanks a million. This is a good start. But if we were sitting now together in order to discuss this, we want to make sure that every word we utter is rightly defined and we all understand the same thing under it. Okay? Cross-questioning, we call this. And this is what Socrates did with his students. Cross-examination. Okay? A small group, clever minds, sharp minds, we know what we're doing and we build. Hey, what is justice? So it's fascinating when you read it. You start by this question, what is justice, in order to say then how we build a just society. Yani how we build a state that we live in. Yani if you want now to make Beirut a better city, with less corruption, with less garbage over the streets, with less car accidents, okay, that cost the lives of thousands of people every year. With less, okay? If we said to, this is a blueprint, when we start thinking about it, Mazboot, together. So this is what Socrates was trying to do with his students, but Socrates did not write a single word. Oh, this is what we are told. مثل ما كنا عملوا oral tradition, written tradition now. It's his student Plato whom we are reading, who is telling us what Socrates said. If we had another student writing, now we will find perhaps differences between them. So is Plato only writing down what he heard from his mentor, from his professor? This is another question that has to do with oral tradition, written tradition, with great ideas and with all these things. Then we move to Aristotle. Aristotle is again the student of Plato. يعني عندنا Socrates, the mentor, first mentor, student Plato, student, mentor, Aristotle, student of Plato, and he himself a great mind, a great philosopher. From Aristotle, we're only reading here now ethics, morality. كمان questions, philosophical questions, by the way. What is justice? So what is how to live a happy life and good life? What is happiness? These questions that we pose every now and then. By the way, religions as well discuss or claim that they lead to happiness. But according to religions, happiness is not only happiness in this life that you are living. لأنه there is a belief in another life and other beliefs, okay? How do these polytheists, how did Aristotle, a great mind, a great philosopher, he is trying, if you want to live happily in a just state, so what is happiness? Can we define happiness? It's fascinating. Can we measure happiness, by the way? Till he reached something that we call the golden mean. Okay? Excuse me. يعني the middle point is a Bitcoin. Plus or minus, it's not a middle point. It's a mean. Okay, it's an average between things. Can we define happiness? So we are reading, can we define happiness? What is happiness? How do we deal with happiness? And how are we going to respect each other's happiness in order to build a just and happy society? So these are the questions that we are going to encounter in Greek philosophy. Let me go back a little bit. Questions, guys? Let me make a jump, another jump back in time. لأنه these philosophers built the philosophers on ancient texts. I repeat, when I say Odysseus, عم قول تقريبا 800,000 BC, before our common era. 800 مش 1000, 800, okay? Plato وأرسطوطل عم نحكي 400, 500. معناتها Plato, Aristotle, posing these questions, building up philosophical arguments, they are building the arguments on texts that all the society knows. مش قلنا an epic is a text that represents the society? By the way, parts of the epics are usually recited and read in celebrations, in festivals. So the populace knows the themes of this epic. So Plato and Aristotle are relying on these basic texts in order to pose the questions. Okay? By the way, like an epic, we said philosophy. In between, we have a link, which is tragedy. Can you help me here with the word? That's ring a bell. Hey. Sacrifice. Raise your voice, please. Raise your voice. When a hero undergoes a sacrifice, this is beautiful, and we have a hero undergoing his initiation, okay, with a certain sacrifice. The sacrifice is most of the time imposed on him, in a certain sense. There is a flow in the characters of the hero, okay. This flow, بتعرف شو يعني flow؟ في عنده نقص شيء معين بالكاركتر تبعه, and this is human. We all have our flows, okay. This flow leads to a tragic ending. يعني the hero is sacrificing, you're saying. Beautiful, by the way, to start off with now. You can use it in class as well as a start. We don't have all the time here to discuss only this basic thing. So tragic hero, the hero is being crushed, his personality, in front of us on the stage in a short text usually. 60 pages, 70 pages, 6, 7 characters. And so this is a moment. This is a tragic moment in the epic, by the way. The epic is a narrative poem. It goes easily and happily, okay? Although in the narrative poem, we have moments that are tragic, okay? So in theater, they pick out these moments, amplify them on theater, by the way. This is a typically Greek production. Okay? هلا ما فينا نقول who is first, and I hate this idea. Who was first? Who is first? Which culture is first? Okay? But the Greeks paid extremely high importance to theater. By the way, this is the amphitheater. These plays used to be performed in an amphitheater in a certain city-state. This takes sometimes something between 15,000 to 50, 15 ل 50. And if the happening is here, acoustic is excellent. يعني if an actor stands here and is speaking out, no microphone, okay, the acoustics are excellent. 50,000 who are in attendance in all the corners are getting it. Okay? So this is the amphitheater. And by the way, this used to be a season tragedy under the name of god Odysseus. He is such a god. Double-faced, huh? There's cruelty with Odysseus. But there's happiness. What is happiness? ما بعرف, okay? There is dance, there is theater, there's wine, but it ends all tragic, okay? So it is under the sign of the god Odysseus, festivals once a year, beginning of spring according to the calendar. We have 1 week, I think, competition of theater and plays. So we are going to read one of these plays, one of the most still worldwide recognized play, which is called, are we reading Antigone? Or Oedipus the King? Yes, please. Not the Iliad, we're reading the Odyssey. Okay, we have the Odyssey and the Iliad. Both are supposed to be written by a certain Homer, a blind poet, if there were such a Homer, okay, and around 800 BC. The happenings around 1200 BC, okay. We are reading the Odyssey. Since something like 15 years, we're reading the Odyssey. We used to read the Iliad. In some universities, they read excerpts, parts of both the Odyssey, the Iliad, and the Odyssey, okay? We're not reading the... But if we do the Aeneid at the end, we're not doing the Aeneid anymore. ما هيك Virgil? Not anymore, لا. So it's just taking taste of everything. Our taste is the Odyssey. And I love the Odyssey, كمان. طيب, questions? Time's out? بعطوني 2 minutes and then we finish. I didn't finish everything and I can't do. I'm not supposed to finish everything, by the way. I'm just trying to introduce a little bit. I hope that you have collected some questions in your mind now that you will try to ask in class, to discuss in class. Again, I just repeat one thing. We are going to be introduced to different cultures. Basic thing is reading and writing skills. Please pick up some words. Some, few, more than few, and I said around 50. This would help you a lot. For we are doing skills as well in these courses, okay? We are being introduced to great minds, to great books, to great cultures, historically, to great genres. You know what are the genres? Huh? We mentioned the epic is a genre. نوع صنف أدبي. Theater, the tragedy, okay? Philosophy is a genre, literature is a genre, and different other genres. Philosophical genre as well. Type guys, best of luck for the whole semester. But you need to read. If you come to class unprepared, you will not. If you're only thinking about the grade, you'll not get the grade, definitely. Okay? Good luck.